Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we have such an exciting video because we have two new liquid bronzers and I had so many requests to review these side by side, and I'm talking about the Makeup by Mario new SoftSculpt bronzing and shaping serum and then the new Saie Bronze. I picked both of these up at my local Sephora. I actually got 2 shades of the Makeup by Mario one and then three shades of the Saie one. I just thought it would be helpful to compare the colors and everything for you guys. For the Makeup by Mario, I got the light, medium, and then for Saie, we have sand, swim, and spritz. There is quite a big difference in price range. The Makeup by Mario is $36, which I thought that was kind of up there, but the Saie ones are $25. Now let's see how much you get. In the Saie, you get 0.40 ounces in the Saie one, but in the Makeup by Mario one, you get 1.01 fluid ounces. So almost triple the product in the Makeup by Mario one. I'm gonna read real quick the description for each of these just so we have an idea what we're kind of getting ourselves into. Here, the Makeup by Mario one, again, it says that it's a serum liquid bronzer and it is a multi-use liquid bronzer that warms the complexion with a sun-kissed glow and softly shapes targeted areas with a sheer natural second skin finish. And sheer, it's very important when it comes to this one. And the Saie one, it is a lightweight buildable liquid cream bronzer that blends seamlessly into skin for a subtly defined bronze with a dewy, soft, focused finish. Let's start with the packaging. This is the Makeup by Mario packaging. And I'm not gonna lie, this feels quite cheap. It feels like a thin kind of plastic. The cap, yeah. Just everything about it doesn't feel luxurious whatsoever, but you do have a doe foot applicator in here, which is actually really nice for us who like to apply it straight on your cheeks, or you have a pump, which I actually really like. I don't know if you guys can see, this is the light medium, but you can definitely see kind of the glow almost separating from the product. I've seen this happen to many other products, even liquid bronzers or some highlighters, that the product can kind of separate. You just kind of have to make sure you shake it. And let's swatch. This is the light medium right here. And then I'm gonna put medium right under it. The texture, as you can see, is not too liquidy. But once you blend it in, okay, I put way too much. It's very, very thin. Definitely serum-like. That is the shade medium. And here I'm blending the shade light medium. So medium has a little bit more warmth than light medium, and I think it's gonna pick up a little bit deeper. I let these kind of dry down a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Again, light medium and medium. Medium definitely has a lot more warmth to it. Now, if you've been on my channel for any amount of time, you know my love for these from Makeup by Mario. The SoftSculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. This is in the shade light medium, and I also have the shade medium. I just hit pan on that one. So I kind of want to swatch the colors of these. So this right here is the enhancer in light medium. It's more cool tone. And then where should we put this one? The medium. Here's the medium shade from Skin Enhancer compared to the serum. You can see that the serum tends to have a little bit more warmth in it than the Skin Enhancer. Because I have 5 bronzers to test out, I'm going to put the Makeup by Mario ones, then we're going to put the Saie ones, because I want to test each color on my skin. It's just going to be a lot of wiping for me. Ooh, actually, instead of pumping it, I am going to put it straight on my cheeks. I'm going to start with light medium. I'm going to take the applicator and just add some product everywhere. This is quite sheer. From swatching it in store, I thought it was maybe too sheer. So that's why I want to apply more than I normally would. But that blends in really nicely. I have a very thin skin tint on. Ooh, that is beautiful. Oh, wow. Okay, the skin tint that I have is my Sisley, the Nude Phyto Skin Nude. I never know the name of that one, but it's the very, very sheer one. That looks very natural. It definitely gave me a little bit of sculpting, not too much though. So let's try to build it up a little bit. Now, I don't expect this to be very intense because of the name. It's a sheer serum bronzer. It's not supposed to give you a ton, but it's just gonna give you a little bit of bronziness, a little bit warmth, or a little bit of a sculpting. And I actually really like this. I think the effect overall, it is kind of similar to the skin enhancer, but this I think dries down quicker. It doesn't stay quite as luminous as the skin enhancer, which, you know, I personally loved that, but some people didn't like the skin enhancer because of that it was just too glowy for them. But this I feel like sets down a little bit better. I think it's beautiful. Again, I don't have a full foundation underneath. All I have is a little bit of a skin tint and concealer. And I think it's really pretty. It is extra natural, even after trying to build it up a little bit. I don't think it gives me too much, but you can see side by side with and without. But this is definitely much more sculpted and defined. Okay, now let's try the shade medium, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm gonna apply it with the doe foot applicator. I actually really like that they give you the option to do either or, because, you know, some people may want to mix in with a foundation or wear this kind of all over their skin as a glowy finish. There's a lot that you can do with this. So giving you the option to have it in a pump or a doe foot applicator is brilliant in my opinion. Now let's see how this one blends in. The brush I'm using, by the way, it's a Rephr 05, and it works absolutely wonderfully with the product. Actually, it's like a perfect match. So if you have this one, just test it out with the product. Okay, that is the shade medium. It's warmer and it's not quite as sculpting as the light medium, which is what I find in my skin enhancer as well. The shade medium, I almost use it as a warming bronzer, and the shade light medium is more for sculpting. I'm gonna build this up just a little bit like I did with the light medium shade. I love the finish. I love how easy these are to blend in, how soft, definitely serum-like. Comparing these to my Armani drops, I think these are thinner. They're not as silky. The Armani ones, I'm going to show you. These ones right here, I've raved about them so much, but these are a similar idea. They're just, I think, a little bit more pigmented. Well, probably a lot more pigmented. They are also very serumy and liquidy, but the way these maintain their pigment is a little bit more intense, and it's not quite as sheer as the Makeup by Mario one. This is the lighter shade, and let's try the what shade is this one? I think this is a 100. This is a deeper shade. See the pigment difference? These are much more pigmented, and they dry down a little bit more of a soft velvety finish rather than the serum feeling that you get with the Makeup by Mario ones. I think these are just much more pigmented. I'm gonna blend the medium in just a little bit more. That is so beautiful. I have so many imperfections right now on my skin. I have some pimples, I have a lot of sunspots and things like that. I'm not even bothering covering them up. I think sometimes they just look worse if I try to cover them up. So this is just real skin. And I am loving the way this is going on. These are both built up. Here we have the shade medium. Definitely a little bit warmer. And then the light medium, I think it's a little bit more sculpting and a little bit more neutral undertone rather than warm. I kind of like the shade light medium more. I think this is the one I'm probably going to reach for most days. The medium probably when I want to just look kind of bronzy. I'm actually so glad that these are working out because in store when I swatched them, I was a little disappointed and I thought, wow, there's absolutely no pigment to these and they're blending out into pretty much nothing. But definitely with a brush, it had worked so well. As you can see, I'm loving this so much right now. Okay, I'm gonna take these off and we're gonna try the Saie ones. This is the Sisley Vital Tint Nude that I was talking about. I put underneath my makeup. It's very sheer, light coverage, but I really, really like it. Okay, I did not powder this because I never do. It dries down to more of a natural, almost slightly velvety feel, so I don't feel the need to powder. Let's move on to the Saie bronzers. So here are the shades. This is Sand, and let me actually just swatch them all. Here are the 3 shades that I picked up: Sand, Swim, and Spritz. Now these look very intense, but again, once they blend out, look, they become definitely much sheerer. So don't be scared of these intense swatches. These seem to have more pigment than the Makeup by Mario for sure. Let me blend all of these out because I think you can tell a little bit better the undertone. So here is Sand, is the lightest one. Then Swim seems to have a lot of gold in it. And then Spritz is a little bit more neutral. This was the one that I initially wanted, just this one. But I thought that, like me, I was confused between Swim and Spritz. And I just wanted to kind of show you side by side. And then Sand looks like a beautiful, lighter, everyday color. So I'm going to start with Sand and put it on this side. And then we're probably going to put the Swim and Spritz side by side. I'm going to add a little bit here. I'm taking this Patrick Ta for contour brush. Ooh, this is maybe a little bit too dense for this, but we're committed now. Okay, so initially I can tell that this has a lot more pigment than the Makeup by Mario ones. Even though they're still sheer, I wouldn't call these super intense. I think it has overall more pigment to it. And they are creamy. I don't like this brush. Let me try a different one. So the shade Sand looks a little bit more intense when you swatch it, but once you blend it into the skin, it really shears out quite a bit. I like it though. It's a very soft for lighter skin tone. I would say I'm light most of the time, slightly medium when I get a tan. But for fair skin tone, there's also another shade that it's even cooler undertone. Oh, but that's buildable. Okay, so I just added more. I think that's quite buildable. Okay. I actually like this shade even for me. I think it would work really well. Here is the shade Sand by Saie, and I actually really like this color. I think it's softer, but it's more sculpting rather than bronzing for me. This also blended in seamlessly. It's the same, I think, formula as the blushes, or it feels the same, and it blends in the same way, very easy, almost a jelly-like consistency. So the formula is very different than the Makeup by Mario one. Initially, I think the Saie will give you more coverage. The Makeup by Mario is a serum, almost like a no makeup product, which I personally enjoy. This is more of a true liquid bronzer, liquid gel bronzer. It's beautiful. Let me wipe this off and then I'm going to test the two deeper shades side by side. Let's start with the color Swim and put it on this side. You can dot it or you can put it on your hand and then go in with a brush. But I think dotting it works fine. It doesn't seem to want to lift whatever is underneath, even though I have very thin base right now. Wow, that was so easy to blend in. Did you see that? I'm using the same brush from Wayne Goss. I just kind of wiped it off. Again, this is number 13, not available anymore. But BK Beauty has some perfect brushes that will work so well with cream products. Okay, so Swim is definitely warmer. Did you see how easy that was to blend out? I really like that. I'm loving this new trend of kind of bronzers that aren't harsh, that are softer, more blendable. My chest looks so fair right now compared to my bronzed side. So this is the shade Swim, and as you can see, it's definitely a bronzier, more warmth to the skin. I was actually surprised how nice it is. I feel like this is going to be a perfect like middle of the summer color for me, because to me it looks like I just sat outside and really got bronzed. The blendability is incredible. There's really no streaks, no patchiness, and nothing like that. And I wasn't expecting anything else since I love their blushes so much. So yeah, this is the color Swim. Let's test out the color Spritz. I'm curious about this color because if I had to blind buy one, it would have been this one. And again, they look so intimidating when you first put them on, but they blend in really nicely. Let's take this BK Beauty 107. This is another great liquid bronzer brush that blends in so nicely. Okay, this is a very intense. Oh, but it still blends in really softly. I definitely put a lot. Okay, this has more red undertone rather than warm, which I actually quite enjoy. Can you see my vein here? Okay, this color is beautiful. I like this color better than Swim. Swim has a little bit more, not orangey, but it seems a little bit more yellow in it. And this seems to have a little bit more red in the undertone. So yeah, I definitely prefer the undertone of the Spritz, but the depth seems to be similar. Maybe Spritz is just slightly more intense, but not by much. I'm gonna take real quick a little bit of sand. This is the lighter shade, and just kind of bronze up my nose a little bit. This is more to contour, I guess, my nose, and then, you know, you could put a little bit of one of the other colors to warm it up if you want to, but I feel like sand will be a really good, yeah, contour shade. And it's not too gray whatsoever. All right, guys, so here are the two shades side by side. We have Spritz right here, and then Swim right here. What do you guys think? I personally prefer, out of all of them, Spritz and Sand. I actually really like the shade Sand. I thought for those days where I don't want a lot of bronze, I just want to look a little bit more contour and defined without looking like I have a contour, I think the color Sand is going to be beautiful. And the color Spritz, I just really like the undertone of this. But Swim was nice, definitely a little bit more warmth in it. My final thoughts on these new bronzers. Starting off with Makeup by Mario one. I think this is a very unique product. I think it's very different than what we're used to. It is much sheerer than your regular bronzer. So I don't think it's gonna be as natural to work with as some of your other liquid bronzers. I do really like it though. I think this is going to be perfect for those no makeup days. You can wear this without any foundation or anything under. If you just want to feel a little bit more bronze, you can just put a little bit of this and kind of rub it all over your skin. I don't think it would be too much, kind of like the skin enhancer, even though I don't really wear it all over my face. I kind of focus it on the outskirts or my nose, and I don't feel the need to wear a foundation with that. I think this is pretty much the same, just a liquid formula. Now, because of that, I think if you're looking for more definition and a product that bronzes you and sculpts you, this may be a little bit too sheer for you. The liquid formula is very serum-y. Look at this. See, it can blend into nothing almost. If you look at that, like you get some sort of bronze effect, which is why I'm saying that you could probably wear it all over your skin, or you can mix it with other foundations. So I think that this is a more unique product that you could use with foundations as your base, as a bronzer, as a sculpting, very light sheer formula. I have a feeling that I'm going to get a lot of use out of these because I tend to like for day to day a barely there kind of makeup, and these are going to be very, very useful. I like that you get a pump and you get the doe foot applicator. Although I don't love the packaging, I think it's quite cheap. For $36, I was hoping for maybe a little bit more substance to the packaging. Although I appreciate that it's not glass because I don't want this to come in glass. So the color light medium is my favorite. I think it does a really good job at contouring a little bit and sculpting my face without looking like I have much on. So I do enjoy this product a lot. But the Saie, I think they are more organic for most people. I think it's going to be easier to use for majority. Even though these are not super intense bronzers, you're going to get a more intense bronze look from these and more pigment. If you are familiar with the blushes from Saie, these are very similar, and I actually like the colors that they came out with. I think, like I mentioned, sand is a beautiful everyday color for me, and then spritz, yeah, honestly, they're all beautiful. Looking in the mirror, I can't say that I hate one side and I would return it. I think it's kind of cool that you have some cooler undertones. There's one for fairer skin tone, there's a very cool undertone, but you also have some warmth in them, some more red undertones, some more yellow warm. So I like the selection that you get. I like that this is buildable compared to the Makeup by Mario one. There's only so much you can build the product, like the pigment with this. With this, I think you get a much more pigment from it. Blendability, I think it is maybe a little bit easier to blend these out because it's more of a gel liquid formula. I think it stays in place a little bit better with the Makeup by Mario because it's a serum. It can kind of go everywhere. So that's just my initial thoughts, that I think the Saie will be a little bit easier to kind of keep the product where you want it. I think both of these are really nice if you're looking for a very sheer bronzer, natural, go for Makeup by Mario. If you're looking for just a beautiful, easy to blend in, yet a little bit more buildable bronzer, go for Saie. But I think they're both beautiful and they both have something that the other one doesn't. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was helpful. Like always, I will update you on these products because it takes me more than just one try to really get to know the product and like choose which one I like better. So make sure you're subscribed down below. You can follow me on Instagram, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Usually Instagram, it's easier for me to see your messages and respond quickly than here. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would love to know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.